Okay, some of you may have the Street Fighter Edition. Other of you will have Marvel Superhero Edition. If you have the remote control setting one, there is an on and off button. All you have to do is just press it on. Everything will kick on automatically. This is your control knob here for the sound. So your sound bar here has the volume here to control. Your on and off button has been bypassed, so they do not work. Same goes for the volume. Yeah, on and off button is utilized by the start button or the remote control. So once you're at the main menu, you'll hear a background music, and that is chosen by the arcade randomly. It's got about 80 songs in there, and it'll play until you enter a particular game. This is button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The center button at the bottom, we call it the medium kick button, is always the enter, and this is always exit. Enter, exit. So some games you'll utilize all 6 buttons, while other games utilize just the 2 buttons, so some of them 3 buttons, some of them 4 buttons. This is your coin button, and this is your start button. Okay, so when the arcade is on the main menu, which it says, it'll have a background music. The background music will go away as you enter a game. So you have different consoles like Street Fighter, Double Dragon, Super Nintendo work. And your background music will fade as you get into a game. To enter a game, pick a favorite one, and let's go to Pac-Man. Enter, it'll enter, and this is in this screen. Let the game load. So once the game load, your coin button, which is your select button, is always this. As you can see the screen here, when you hit select, it'll add as if you're putting money into it. And you can hear the sound. Start button is always starting the game. Now to reset the current game is hold select and short, which is the exit button. That'll reset this current game. Now, if the screen is not ideal, you want to make it expanded bigger, is select and strong key. You'll bring up the screen, click short, go down to settings, enter, and video, enter, and you can adjust the aspect ratio. And as you adjust left and right, you see how the screen will move. And you want to make it as big as you can, which is all the square in the game. And to get out of it, the same thing. Hold select and strong to get out. And now you're full screen. To exit this game, out of this game, is select, start. It'll come out to the game. Now the button configurations are very simple and mapped to Street Fighter. So what that means is if you enter the game using forward button, as you load, you see the top 3 is the punches and the bottom 3 are the kicks. Start. First player, second player. Press the second player, it's 2-player selection. Now some games requires less than 6 buttons. Now games that with less buttons, you'll try either the short or forward or jab or strong. In this case, in this game, the jab acts as attack and short as the jump. And forward and everything else, nothing. Because this game only uses 2 buttons. Now again, to get out the game, hold select, start button to exit. Now if you find a game that's very impossible to beat and you require assistance, that's in red, pulls up the cheat. So this is the coin up, but this is also coin up, but it also brings up the cheat. Now I would suggest that don't play around with this unless you really need to it. This is also where you input the game. If you don't like the selection of the game, enter, and that allows you to adjust the buttons that you want, but most of the games are mapped okay, so you don't need to do that. Now you go down to cheat and press enter and exit, right? Enter, enable cheat, enter, and this is where you can get infinite energy, infinite lives for kids. And you see player 1, player 2, on, off, invincibility. Now I don't suggest invincibility because sometimes it craps out the game, but you want to do the infinite lives and energy. And to exit, just press select again until exits. So in this case, You have infinite energy, infinite game. Now you don't have to worry about setting the cheat back off, because once you exit this current game, the cheat goes back to disable. Okay. Now let's go back to another game called Elevator. And sometimes if you have games and you accidentally press it, once you get this menu, do not worry. You just have to, if you press any button, just go to second one. Number 2, as you get in, make sure it's always on main 2003. And you just gotta press enter to make sure it's main 2003. You can go to X to launch it. And it enters the game. On the main menu, this has a screensaver mode or preview mode. What that means is after 15 minutes of idle, the arcade machine will automatically try to save your screen by showing previews. And this preview will come on for 30 seconds, and then a new clip will come on randomly for another 30 seconds. So this will scroll through like this. Every 30 seconds, some new games will come on. Sometimes you get a black screen, and that is because back in the day, some of them don't have previews. Now, if you come back and you see this, to exit, you can press the exit button, or you can press the left joystick button. It'll come back. Or let's say you want to see what games there you wanted to play, because there's thousands of games here. You can simply press the select button once. It'll enter preview here, and it will show you what console, what game it is. So let's say Super Nintendo Legend. If you like this game, you can just press enter. It'll automatically take you to that game. No. Let's say you're playing a certain game like Legend and you like it so much, so you can just press this first button here, light punch button, once, and it'll show add Legend to favorite, right? And let's say if you get tired of this game, you want to remove it, you can remove it from here, or you can always go to your favorite and say, hey, I don't like the game anymore, the game Legend, and I want to remove it from my favorite list. You just press light punch one more time, and it'll show you it has been removed. You can add as many games as you want into your favorite. Remember, every time you add it, you must go to start, you must go down to quit, but press enter, and you must restart your system. If you don't restart it, you will not save it. LED backlights is controlled by the remote control right here. To properly shut down the system, you press the start button and enter. Start button brings up the main menu. Go down to quit, press the enter button. Once, go down to shut down system, enter. It'll ask you if you want to really shut down, say yes. And you'll see this screen to shut it down, and another screen will pop up. Once that screen, the green little box, goes off. But this does not shut the entire arcade off. It only shuts off the computer. The LED lights on, the soundbar light is still on, all the power is still on besides the CPU. In order to do that, you must click the off button. Now obviously you can just click the off button and it'll shut everything off, but in the long run, it's not good for your computer. So I recommend you always hit the start, go down to quit, and to shut it off that way. And remember, it shut off the screen, you still have to hit the off button.